Here we go. Good morning. Welcome to Speaking Out Loud. Let's try to do this one more time. I am your host, Rene Ruiz, and along with me in that beautiful polo, the one and only John Borba. What
What's
up,
going on?
Johnny?
What's going on, man? I
Let's.
made it.
Yeah, you did.
Had
There's a
some
bit of a
technical
struggle. The,
technical difficulties this morning, man. Oh my gosh.
the beauty of our show every now and then is when the technical difficulties hit right before we're about to go on. There's nothing better than that, huh? We're just kind
Yeah,
of running around with our heads cut off.
we always do that. Seems to be the issue.
Oh, I don't know. Does that set the tone for what is to expect tonight with the Philly Cowboys game? Waking up this morning, football's back. I haven't went outside, so I don't even want to gas anybody up about what it smells like outside and whatnot. But yeah, it's not going good for Cowboys fans this morning. Cheech,
A good thing I'm not a
appreciate you
Cowboy
pointing that
fan.
out.
Let's just throw that out there.
Why? Do tell, please.
Who, me?
Why? Why? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why am I not a
What's
Oh,
no?
my
Why are
morning?
you glad? Why are you glad?
Oh, I'm glad. Oh, dude, because oh, so like just because I said that you feel offended now. Oh, I
I mean, I
I
just I just
I
want
will
you to
never be a
elaborate on
Cowboys
the
fan.
comment.
Let's just throw that out there. I will never, ever, ever. At the top of my list, you got the Packers. Then you got the Cowboys and the Eagles. They're tied for second most hated teams, right there. So it's
How
just never
come?
gonna happen.
How come though?
How
What?
come? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't. The fans for one are delusional.
Okay.
Renee can stand behind that a little bit, but I've never been
Calling
a
me
fan.
delusional.
Never been a fan. I don't know. Never been a fan.
I'm not delusional. I'm typically I like to be
You're you're
realistic, but
you're usually a realist, but there's a lot of guys that are not. I'll say that.
here's I think here's the perception on Cowboys fan is like a handful of idiots, right? Where it's a handful of idiots that the one thing that bugs me is that this is our year thing is that always kind of gets pushed in Cowboys fans' faces, right?
Oh yeah,
But bro, that's everybody. Like you're an
that's true.
idiot.
That's true.
If you go into the season every year and not expecting your team to at least make a push, like that's depressing. That's so depressing. So there's a small delusion I think to every fan base because you slowly talk yourself into a shoot that your team somewhat has a chance. Like like Dallas definitely has a chance as far as like I mean they just got to get there. Sometimes you just got to get lucky, and I mean look at last year Philly. If it doesn't snow, like if they don't have home field advantage and it doesn't snow in Philly,
That's what home
the
field
Rams might
advantage
have
is.
came out of that
Yeah,
game and
yeah.
won it. I mean they looked good in the snow. I mean they didn't look good. Obviously that was a sloppy game, but just a little bit of luck. Like the environment changed the outcome of that game. And then, I mean, look at what we're looking at now. You got Saquon Barkley MVP uh, of that Super Bowl, and now it's changing the trajectory of multiple people's careers. And I mean, just the outlook on Jalen Hurts. Like, there's not much you can really say because the dude is at the end of the day is a Super Bowl champion. And from what we've seen, is he shows up when the lights are the brightest. And on my side. Damn, I don't know how I turned this into shitting on the Cowboys, but on my side,
You did it.
Nate always says Dak doesn't show up. Nate, our buddy, always says Dak doesn't show up in the biggest games, and you know he's shown that. He like that's the proof is in the pudding, and there's not much I can say. Shout out Robert Ross over here, shouting out the Eagles, bro. I don't. Yeah, it's tough being a Cowboys fan for sure, but I do think that we're all somewhat delusional. I think if you're not, um, yeah, you stink. It's football. Like you should be excited. You should be excited about your team. I mean, there's a handful of teams that have a chance this year. I mean, let's kind of just run down what we think the NFC playoff picture looks like, right? I obviously we're gonna go one with Philly. That's fair, right?
It's fair.
You go two would probably be let's just pull someone from the NFC North. I'm gonna go with the Packers. Yeah, you can make the argument that two or three teams might come out of that division, right? So there's Minnesota and Detroit. But if you're a Detroit fan, you're looking at this year and you're going Super Bowl or bust, right?
I
No,
think
why not?
of course you are, but I mean realistically, I think Detroit's window has already closed. I think Detroit's window is closed.
Says who though? Like, what would hold them back from if
Says everything.
from a
Says everything.
look at this, but
Says
look at this
everything.
from a fan's perspective. I'm just talking about from a fan's perspective. If you're if you're going in, you're going into this season as a Detroit Lions fan. I think your expectations are to get at minimum the NFC Championship game. Like Hutch is coming back, so you got to assume that your team has gotten better. Uh, sure, they lost their offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, but they hired from within, so they're going to probably run similar systems, right? Right? You would think they're still loaded on offense. So if anything, you could just make the argument that from a player's point standpoint, they're getting better because Hutch is coming back. So why wouldn't you think that it's a Super Bowl or bust
Well, if you're a
situation?
Detroit Lion fan, yeah,
Same thing
I'd
with you.
agree. I'd agree.
Minnesota, right? Like, sure, as much as Cheech gives you shit about you can't pick the Vikings, you should be kicked off the show. Like, if you're a Minnesota Vikings fan, I feel like you should have the same delusion because the way you're looking at your season is if JJ McCarthy can play decent, all you need is a couple things to go your way. Realistically, because
Yeah.
a lot of these games are going to come down to shout out Ryan Russ, we love you, bro. Uh, a lot of these games are going to come down to one possessions, and it's going to come down to something stupid. Special, I mean, like the worst way to lose is like a special teams play, right? But it's going to come down to something so minimal like that. I mean, I've been a part of some of the worst special teams plays. Not me personally, but watching. Right? I mean, we can always go back to the Tony Romo situation against Seattle. Don't know why he's holding the ball as a starting quarterback, or but he did. But he did probably should have thrown that ball as he's running out. But if you rewatch that replay, had no chance. Never had a chance. Never had a chance. But delusion. It's part of it. You're supposed to be slightly delusional. Who else? Who else? JB. Like if you're Tampa Bay, why not? Why not Tampa? Why not Tampa? Baker's career's been revived after what we said a couple years ago. You know, we had a moment of silence for Baker Mayfield because we made the assumption that his career was done, and all he's done is gotten better. All he's done is gotten better, and and it seems like he's been able to rebuild his career, and now he's got Chris Godwin, uh, Mike Evans, a solid offensive line. Uh, Pretty good defense. I think top 10 if I'm right, according to the PFF. Um, and then they just got Buddy from Ohio State, that wide receiver. Like, why not? If you're a Bucks fan, waking up this morning, smelling the air of football, brother, you should be slightly delusional. You should your expectations should be to win the Super Bowl. So with that being said, this is our year, Borba.
This all started for me just one cowboy comment. I don't even think I started anything. And what was the comment we started? Oh, not good, going good for a Cowboys fan this morning. Uh, it all started. I said no, I'll never be a Cowboys fan. And then we get a 10-minute rant, 15-minute rant from Renee about delusion. And yeah, he's doing so much to justify himself.
No,
Yeah, no, I
it's
mean,
fair though,
yeah,
right?
every team does have delusion, but you know, you got to be a realist at the same time. I understand, if your team is looking good on paper, okay, then okay, we got a shot. Like, let's contend. Let's see what happens. Let's get to the dance. We just need a couple things to go our way, possibly a couple calls because we know that there's a lot of controversy with the refs and everything like that. A couple plays here and there can change the outcome of a game. You always hear it after a game with the presser on the coach. We didn't lose a game from one play. It's sometimes it's really hard to see it that way, and sometimes it's really hard for I'm sure it's probably hard for a coach to say that. I've been a part
Yeah,
I've as a Vikings fan, like been a part of like some bad losses, and it's literally one play. Yeah, there's things here and there that determine how that game goes or whatever, but it's one play, ultimately one play, I feel like, that does determine a game sometimes. Yeah, things happen, but you need the ball to go your way a couple times. You need a couple calls to go your way. um, I mean, if Matt Stafford doesn't overthrow Puka in that snowball game, um, we might be looking at a different Super Bowl
yeah,
champion.
Rams, yeah, for sure.
Rams always compete good in the playoffs. I mean, you're never out with Stafford. I used to give Stafford a lot of hate just because I didn't think he could get it done. I mean, technically, he didn't get it done that game, but he gave
But
Philly
he's
the
gotten
run
it
for their
done.
money. He gave Philly a run for their money for sure. And I can see the Rams. We're talking about teams with a window. Rams are right there. Rams are right there.
Why not?
The addition of Devonte Adams, I mean, huge. You're gonna see Stafford rely on Devonte Adams for so many big plays. I think even more than Puka in certain situations. And it's gonna be in the NFC. You got a lot of teams that can upset Philly. Like because I'm putting Philly at the top right now. I'm putting Philly at the top. What are these
Yeah.
teams doing to beat Philly? What do you need to do to beat Philly? You need to solidify your trenches, offensive line, defensive line, and of course you got to make plays. You got to make plays, but it all starts up front, and that's what Philly has done so good honestly, the last like 7-8 years since they beat Brady, and they had Nick Foles, in 2018, 2019,
Yeah.
2018.
Yep. Yep.
They've solidified their trenches. They've had Pro Bowlers all up and down that offensive and defensive line. What have teams done to get better in the trenches? Because you gotta
Let
fight.
me tell you.
You gotta fight.
Let me tell you what teams have done. This is what they've done.
What
They
have they
traded
done?
Michael Parsons to get Kenny Clark to stop the run because that's what you got to do. And the best running back happens to be in your division. So the trade makes sense. The trade makes all the sense in the world. Why not?
Crazy.
Why not Dallas? And just to go off of what you said about the Rams, like another team, right? Like coming into the year, you should feel like that. Like your your the only thing that sucks for Rams fans is that your happiness is relying on a man's back, literally a man's back.
Yeah.
Can Matthew Stafford sustain the entire year and get into the playoffs healthy? It's in a tough, that division is tough. They always play pretty tough against each other. We really don't know what San Francisco is going to be. They just paid Brock Purdy. Um,
San
they've had to
Francisco, let's just
move
throw that out
Russ.
there. I'll cut you off real quick. Sorry. San
Okay.
Francisco's window, I think, has closed. You want to talk about NFC teams that were right there, right there. They
Uh,
had a couple chances. I mean, when Brock Purdy went down in that championship game a couple years ago with that elbow injury, and they had Josh Johnson out there, and then they had McCaffrey essentially running QB, and about 2 years ago when McCaffrey was healthy as well, that was the window of opportunity. And you can see that's a perfect example of a team with a window of about 3 to 4 years and just not capitalizing on it. And we see that kind of a lot. We see that a
yeah.
lot, and that's one of those teams where I believe they're going to be a good team, but I just do not see them making a run to the Super Bowl. They might squeak in maybe as a seventh. I don't know. But we'll have to see how that plays out. But teams like that, that's a perfect example of windows that have possibly closed that we've seen open. And it all starts, you got to pay the quarterback. Brock Purdy kind of took over that position. You got to pay the man. And once you get strapped down in salary cap and you start, I mean, as well as anyone as a Cowboys fan, once you get strapped down and it limits your team. You got to build from the draft. You got to build your team in other ways. You got to hit on players. And a thing that Philly has done also while paying these guys is they've hit on rookies in the draft. You got to have a good draft. Got to build these guys up young. And then that's where it starts too. And that's something that a lot of teams cannot say that they're great at. as a Viking fan, we've been awful in the draft. We got three guys on our roster since the new administration took over. We got three guys on our roster. Um, I think from the 2022 draft still. We got Ty Chandler, you got Jalen Naylor, and then you got Jordan Addison. Out of and all the other guys have been waived, they've been released, they've been traded. It's the draft is hard. The draft is hard to hit
Yeah.
on players, and that determines your window of opportunity too. And that's why the Vikings. I mean, thank God we're not strapped down quarterback wise. We got some salary cap to make some moves still, but like when you have a young quarterback, we've seen it, and it all started, back when Russell Wilson was in his rookie season as a Seattle Seahawk. You load your team up as much as you can, hope that your quarterback hits. I mean, we saw that with Jalen Hurts. They had a stacked team too with the Eagles, and then they just kept building and building. And what's kept their success is the draft after you pay Jalen Hurts. Same thing. A team's window can be 3 to 4 years. And
Yeah,
we've seen,
it can shut quick where you're relying on almost one or two players, and that's kind of what we see. Like you said, that's kind of what we see in Dallas is
yep,
a heavy load on Dak, and then aren't you got to make moves like that Micah Parsons move to try to recover
hopefully you can recover from
from
that.
that cap deficit. Yeah,
And
it's
like I
tough.
said, as we mentioned yesterday, we'll see who wins that trade. I think short term, within about 6 to 8 months, we'll see who won. But long term, I mean, I think long term, give it about 2 years, kind of like what Earl said, that we'll see who won that trade. But for right now, the window of opportunity for the Packers is a lot bigger window than the Cowboys right now to make a
Yeah.
Super Bowl run because of what you're doing, But the thing is, on the backside of that, Jordan Love, you just paid the guy. Micah, you just paid to be the most expensive edge rusher of all time. You're strapped right now. You got to hope some of those rookies can hit. They got some weak spots in their secondary still, so there's a lot of questions about that. But you can obviously see when a team goes in, their window of opportunity is at least for a year or two. So we'll see what happens with that trade and everything like that. So I know that me with my technical difficulties, joining late kind of messed up the script a little bit. So we're kind of winging
Yeah,
it
we're
this
kind of
morning,
scrambling a little bit
guys.
here.
You
But
know,
JB, so the spread this morning came in at 7.5 points. Do you think that's too many, or do you feel like Philly does cover that?
I man, that's
Seven
tough.
and a half is tough, huh?
7.5 is tough. I don't think that
Here,
spread. I
think
think
about
they
that
cover
real
that
quick, and let
spread.
me just
They cover that spread.
think about that for just a second. Let me just give you a couple things. So Dak is 9-4 against the Philadelphia Eagles. So you could make the argument that maybe Dak is daddy to Philly, maybe, possibly. Um, you do have the addition of George Pickens, so we assume that Dallas is going to put up points. Yesterday when Rob gave us his bets, if you want to pull those out for us here in a second, Jay, he did mention. I mean, he did drop the line from -7.5. He dropped it to 1 for his teaser.
Yeah.
Uh, that seems more realistic, but I think the over is like 49.5. I'd have to double check. Once Jay pulls up that graphic, we'll be able to see. But you, you got it. I expect, yeah, there we go. So he's got the Philly at -1.5, and then the over at 40.5 points. That would be a split of 20-20, right? So I feel like that one's easily broken. I think we're gonna see some explosive offense. I know Philly is somewhat. I don't want to say they're weak in the secondary, but probably their that would probably be their one weakness if they even have any. Um, what is it? Elijah or not Elijah Mitchell, but Mitchell and Cooper DeJean.
So you get rid of Darius Slay, you get rid of James Bradbury, you kind of get rid of the older guys. So now they're putting all their chips on Kenyon Mitchell, who had a good solid season last year as a rookie. Cooper DeJean, solid. So you can say that their secondary is young, but they're experienced. Obviously, they're experienced, can make plays, and it's going to be an optimistic secondary looking into it. But we'll see how that. I guess you could say, out of all weaknesses of their defense, it would be the secondary, just because they're still very young. But I mean, we see young guys come in with a bunch of success all the time, and they've been playing good. So I wouldn't doubt the secondary, but I would say that that might be the weakest. But it's respectable for sure. For sure, it's respectable.
Yeah. And I'm trying to find where I wrote this stat down, but Super Bowl winners, they have a losing record on banner night. So that
Right.
might also play in the favor of the Cowboys. You know, guys, I I'm pulling. I'm pulling here. I'm trying to find a way to feel confident about tonight because I honestly I was trying like the whole delusional thing, right? And maybe I was maybe I am delusional. But I was trying to talk myself into how we have a chance, and it seems like the only thing that I can find is like dumb shit like Dak is 9-4 against Philly. So I'm just going
Here's the
off.
thing. Here's the thing. You trade an all-time edge rusher a week before the regular season starts. What does that do to the team? What is that showing the locker room essentially when you get rid of a guy like that? And what does this show to the other guys? I mean, these other guys that are coming up, they got to get paid too, right? I mean, they might be thinking to themselves, what do I got to do for Jerry to pay me? It could be something simple as that. The little things of doubt,
Or
it is a locker room
or
thing. It's a locker room
or
thing.
or you can look at it like this. The pot of gold just got bigger. Like if you're one of those players now, why not you be the reason that defense becomes a top 10 in the league? And all of a sudden your bag just got bigger. So there it's I don't want to say it's a win-win, but
That's hard to say, man. Like imagine, like we're in high school, dude, and we got we're balling, dude. We're making a run, dude, and all of a sudden our best player gets hurt or something like that. That kind of demoralizes. You have that doubt. You're like a guy that you can always rely on to make plays, a stud that's going to show up, and he's just not there no more. A week before the
that's
season
true.
starts.
That is true. That is true. But
It's a mental thing too. Yes, it's these guys' career. They're gonna play. They're gonna play to get paid. They're gonna play to stay in the league for a while, make it a career, and all that stuff. But essentially, man, that's a blow that this team
no, I,
is
I agree. I
probably still
agree with
recovering
you.
from.
I agree with you, but I think most people will agree that that probably does cross your mind. But as soon as like warm-ups start, uh, your mindset completely changes, and
Yeah,
all of a sudden you're bigger than the obstacle at hand. Like I don't think this team. So Dak at a press conference said, this team's ready to move forward. They're just glad that it's finally over with.
yeah.
And I believe it because I mean you don't have any other choice but to go out there with what you have now. And to me the pot has gotten bigger. Like I said, if you're a player on that defense, why not? Why not? The bag is full. All the mud we have the second most cap space since that Michael Parsons trade, right behind the Patriots. I think it's at like 45 million or something like that to spread around. So Jerry just kind of reopened our window without really hurting us much because at the end of the day, I mean, as much as there's really not an explanation as to like the simple fact that Jerry's right. We can't fucking or excuse my language. We can't stop the goddamn run. Like we just can't, and we haven't done it year after year after year. And what's gonna be funny is when Green Bay has the same issue, because that's been the talk for Green Bay for years too, is they can't stop the damn run. And I mean, we lose to San Francisco. We lose to Philly. And the common denominator is what? They have a hell of a running back that we cannot stop. So I'm not going to be surprised if Green Bay gets into the playoffs and the same exact situation happens. And when it does, I am going to be laughing my ass off, JP,
I mean,
because it's what we expected. It's
yeah,
what we, as of right now, I think that's what we expect. That if
yeah.
I
And
still expect Green Bay to not be able to stop the run.
yeah, and obviously, as soon as a trade goes down, overreaction. Oh yeah, oh yeah, this puts Green Bay at the top, Super Bowl contenders, Super Bowl contenders. It's boom or bust all year. This is our year. Like it's literally that's the overreaction that you get for a guy like Micah Parsons. But the reality of it is yeah, you got a heck of a pass rusher, but look at what he's coming into too. Um, you know, Not only is he in a really good division that he's going to have to go up against some of the best offenses in the league, but he's also going to be playing all pro tackles. You got Taylor Decker and Penny Sewell on Detroit. You got the all pros in Brian O'Neill and Christian Darrisaw in Minnesota. Green Bay, they're a little shaky at tackle, but he's on Green Bay, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah,
But the Bears, they solidified the interior offensive line. They do have Darrell Wright, a young tackle, and I can't remember the other tackle's name. But I mean, he's going to be in a division where offense is prevalent, and we only expect Caleb Williams and Chicago to get better offensively, or else there's going to be huge talk in Chicago, obviously. So he's going into a really good division that obviously has the right coaching and the right players in place to make Micah's life a little bit hell. Honestly, uh, he's not going to be feasting against New York Giants anymore. I'll tell you that much. He's not going to be doing that. So let's shut that down. Let's shut that down because I think all three of us, like I think Detroit fans, Minnesota fans, and Chicago fans would want nothing more than to kind of keep Micah Parsons quiet. And I think there's a real possibility that could happen throughout some of these games, and it's going to make heck
yeah,
of
yeah.
division rivalry matchups for sure. So I'm excited to see that aspect of it. I mean, because Minnesota has to see Aiden Hutchinson. That's never fun lately. We've kind of kept him up, under wraps a little bit, but there's times where they're going to make plays. Edge rushers, they put their stamp on the game when the game matters the most. And that's some of the things that Green Bay was kind of missing last year, too. In critical
Yeah.
moments, late in the fourth quarter, something like that. Um, just a guy to disrupt the offense and make a play. That's the big thing that Green Bay. I think that's one of the reasons why you pay the guy and you sign the guy to make those impact plays late in the fourth quarter when you need a stop, when you need the ball
But
back, when you need to finish a game. You know,
but Micah has been slightly absent in those situations. I don't want to keep throwing shots,
I'm
but
telling you,
I mean,
bro. See,
it's
now
just the
now we're
truth.
this is the only
It's
thing that
just
me and
the
Renee can
truth.
kind of agree on. Now that he's not there, you start to see the big picture of it, and it's going to be interesting. It's gonna, now I got somebody on my side that can say like,
Yeah.
because there's times where, yeah, you're right that Micah did go missing, and that's a good thing. I'll just say that that's a good thing when
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
a
yeah.
little quiet, when you keep him under wraps, when you come up with a good game plan. So yeah,
Hey JB,
yeah,
let's run through these games real quick. Let's
okay,
make our picks.
yeah,
But before we make our picks, I'm just curious to know, do you watch the Red Zone, the NFL Red Zone?
yes, big news yesterday. Yeah,
Yeah, huge news. So the NFL Red Zone, known for its non-commercial 7 hours of non-commercial action, right?
commercial free.
Um, Now it's gonna have commercials, it's gonna have ads. Scott Hansen went on the Pat McAfee show yesterday, and he seemed a little bugged about having commercials. He said we're gonna leave that up to the business people to
Yeah,
make those
he
decisions,
got to
and
do his job.
he's just gonna perform as he normally does. But do you? I mean, do we care? Do you care? Is this a
Not
big deal?
really,
Commercials? No
because
commercials?
the only time I'm on red zone like that is if my team's got the afternoon game, the Sunday night game, the Monday night game, then I'm on red zone a little bit more. Um, but I'm always, we're like kind of the same. We're switching between games, since
Yeah,
we
yeah,
got the
yeah.
whole ticket and all that stuff. We're switching between games half the time. If there's nothing too exciting going on, then we'll hop on the red zone, kind of get an overview, see what's going on. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, we're on our fantasy apps and all that stuff, so we're looking at everything pretty deep. Um, it doesn't really bother me. There's some guys that don't have ticket though that aren't able to watch the games, kind of like how we are. So that's where it's gonna like kind of suck, for some of those viewers
Yeah.
for sure. So I will say that.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, week one's gonna be interesting. I wonder how it's gonna look. I typically do have the red zone on the new addition for YouTube TV, which is pretty cool. I wish DirecTV would have offered it back then. Is where you got the multi view and you can pick what games you want
Yeah,
on each corner. So typically we have the red zone on in a corner or on its own little TV. Um, but yeah, for me, I don't know that it affects me at all. But it is going to be weird because there is something about wanting to change the channel when a commercial does pop on.
yeah.
Uh, Robert said, "Shout out to Stream East," which is also big news. Stream East is taken down. That's kind of tough.
That's what I heard. But
No,
then I've also seen some tweets that Streamies put out and said, "We're not taken down. We're not shut down." Like we've seen,
I'm
I
not. I'm
saw,
not that believing. I'm
yeah.
not that
Like
believing.
so, I don't know, man. We'll have to see how that goes. So I don't know. Supposedly they're taken down, but I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
really
no,
watch on Streamies anymore.
I don't. Yeah, do we? Huh? Maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe every now
I
and then.
don't use it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
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 So
I don't use it, but from what I heard
from
is
what I've heard is,
it does suck having to get the pop up and you got to swipe left and right to get it off the
yeah,
screen. That's what I heard though. I don't use it. I don't use it,
yeah.
but that's at least the complaints that I have the new link.
Shout out Robert Ross. Ask him for the
Yeah.
link and he'll send it over to you.
Let's see what he says. You got to search for it in your Google browser
There you go.
while not on Wi-Fi network. There's the plug right there.
Yep.
I know the Fire Stick Boys typically come around this time, so I'm
Yep.
sure you can find the plug with the Fire Stick Boys somewhere. Uh, but the one thing before I move on from that, not that I use this, just from what I heard, but there is a slight lag every now and then.
Yeah.
So
Little buffer.
yeah, the one thing that I know is the ticket is worth it. Because
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
worth
get the
it.
buffer, you don't have the delay. Um, like if you're just diehard football guy or gal, that you got to get the ticket. It just makes life so much easier. You don't have to jump around everywhere to try to get a stream. But shout out to the streaming warriors. Shout out to you guys because at least
Yeah.
you're watching. Um, but yeah, so not even a big deal. Don't care, right? Stream East is gone allegedly, and commercial free red zone football is gone. Guys, don't forget to call
RIP
in
to an era.
575. Yeah, legit, huh? Don't forget to call in 575-808-9307. We will take your calls. JB, but let's go ahead and make these quick picks real quick, and
Yeah.
then we'll touch a little bit of fantasy football before we jump off here. We did have a rough start to we had a rough start to the show. We're gonna at least agree
Won't
on
happen
that
again.
today.
Won't
It
happen
won't
again.
happen again. Definitely won't happen again. That was a rough start. I was a little nervous. I wasn't confident at all about the Cowboys Eagles game. But slowly and surely as this show's gone on, JB, I'm feeling the football energy come back into my
You're
soul
waking up
here.
now. You're waking up.
Yeah,
You're
it started.
realizing that it's week one of the NFL season. That's what it
It
is.
starts today, JB. In a couple
Starts
hours, we're
today.
gonna have for most of my friends, I'm sure we're gonna crack open a beer or a low whiskey, what? And once it starts flowing, the confidence just begins to grow. And
Yeah.
by the time kickoff starts at 6:20, I think I'll be on about cloud nine. And at that point, if you were to put a camera in front of my face, I may sound pretty delusional.
Yeah.
So
For
that
sure.
will be interesting. Uh, with that being said, JB, let's just go ahead and make a pick real quick on the Eagles Cowboys. What do you have?
I'll pick the Eagles in this one. Yeah.
That was
Banners
pretty quick.
dropping. Obviously, Nick Sirianni said that the guys aren't going to go out for the banner. It's all business now. I personally disagree with that because how many times are you going to ever see a banner come down, for your team? I personally disagree with that, but with some of the leaders on that team who Jalen Hurts and all that stuff. They kind of set the culture that way. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the Eagles in this one.
Yeah, well, I love that comment. And with that comment, if the players are out on the field for the banner, does what's that look like? Like, does that make Nick Sirianni look soft, or does that mean Dallas is set up for an upset because Nick Sirianni lied?
I don't know. I don't think
I'm
I don't think
kidding.
you take that
I'm
back.
being dramatic.
Yeah,
But it is going to be funny that if he does say, that he did say that, and if they are out there, which I would assume you'd be out there. Why not? Aren't they getting their rings today too? Like,
I think they already got
I
their
think
rings.
that was Nick Sirianni being funny. I think.
Yeah,
And
they already got their rings. That's only in
Nick
the
Sirianni
NBA.
football.
Yeah, you get your NBA, you get your rings for the NBA on the opening night banner drop.
Let's see what Jay put up here. I'm gonna watch it. Shout out to them for that. I still got brothers over there. It's not really anything personal, but it's something that I'm chasing. On this was CD on his motivation. Yeah, CD. I mean, go ahead, go watch it. Hopefully, it hurts. I think the fact that they're dropping the banner on the game against the Cowboys. I mean, it's beautiful. We gotta watch it. It's gonna hurt the fans more than anything. It, that's a
Oh
tough
yeah,
one. That's tough. I'm gonna go with the Cowboys. I'm gonna go with the upset here. I feel like this is the one game that Dallas will be able to sneak on Philly. I don't know that we. I don't. I don't know what happens down the line. We'll probably get our butts whooped, but this is the game for them to steal. Um, every metric says this is. I mean, most Super Bowl teams will take an L. Hey, oh look, let's hit the phone line. Turn it up. This is speaking out loud. Let's see who we got. Speaking out loud. What you want to talk about?
Yeah, question for Johnny and Renee.
What's up?
This is your boy Rob. Rob, the Eagles fan. I was calling to see who or which player you guys think will define the 2025 fantasy season. The way
Ooh,
Saquon and Jamar Chase did last year. So if you
dang!
guys got a little sleeper pick there, just let me know and I'll look for your answer on the stream.
Hell yeah, appreciate you joining the show. Shout out Rob.
Shout out,
So
baby.
JB. Yeah,
You know
shout out.
what?
So
Well, just to answer his question, my guy that I'm taking, like, what sucks is I didn't draft this guy, and I was like in 4 leagues this year. Didn't draft this guy, but I think he's going to change the fantasy football. Like, he's going to blow it up. I think it's going to be
landscape,
Jameer
okay.
Gibbs. I think Jameer Gibbs blows it up this year. How Saquon
It,
did.
a split back because he is sharing carries with Montgomery.
I
I
don't think
always that that
it's
that
it's
was
the
like my only criticism from him. Whenever, because I mean, when you make your chart, he's up there, right? That's top five, top three. My only question mark for him was like, damn, he does split a lot of carries. And last year watching Detroit is Montgomery, it seemed like they would run Montgomery when they would get close to the goal line.
a little bit, but I think slowly that's gonna. I think that's gonna change. I think he gets more of a role this year. I think he's in the backfield, even when Montgomery's in the backfield. I think they're gonna run some two back stuff. I just think with the limited amount of carries and what Gibbs did is, and that's another really good one too, Julian. That's another really good one. Another really good one too. But yeah, Jameer Gibbs, talking about blowing up their, blowing up fantasy and everything like that. If they use Gibbs correctly and almost like as a 3 down back, you can throw Montgomery in there a couple times on the early down, short yardage, things like that. I think, Gibbs had a certain amount of touches, like 200 touches. Like if he gets the amount of touches that like a running back gets, like about 300 or so, that's about a good line. I mean, I think he would just blow it up. And that's a guy that you could take in the first round where I think he's just gonna blow it up this year, like a Jamar Chase type or a Saquon type, just really just put numbers on the board like crazy. And then my second pick would have been Brock Bowers too, but I'll let you go.
Oh yeah, Brock Bowers, I like that one too. Um, I'm gonna go a little bit into the weeds here. I think Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb probably has his comeback season. I believe Joe Mixon. I don't know if I don't know if he got cut or he
No,
just didn't make the
Joe
roster,
Mixon
right?
is hurt. He's gonna miss like the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season.
So he just didn't pass like his physical.
No, he's hurt right now.
I saw something about him not where he was like or he didn't make the 53 man roster, but that's just probably because he's on the PUP, right?
He's on the PUP. Yeah, that's what
Okay.
that is. You're
I
technically
like bro. I was I was I was lost when Dallas didn't actually even look at Nick Chubb, especially after all those cool Instagram videos, workout videos that he was posting. The guy is jacked, looks I mean crisp. This guy looks like a cement wall. That's a truck, bro. I do think Nick Chubb, you could have probably gotten him in like your fourth or fifth round. Um, I like Chubb. I like Chubb this year.
you could have got Chubb way later than that. Honestly, like you could have got him
You think
like in
so?
the eighth, ninth, 10th round. But another guy too that we saw in the comments, Emeka Egbuka. There might be some drafts going on. I got picked up on a late draft, so I'm just doing one for fun. But if you guys are doing a late draft, if you had a draft last night, or if you have one today before the game sometime, do not sleep on Emeka Egbuka, the buddy from Ohio State.
Yeah.
He's essentially their number two guy. You got Mike Evans, and they're over there at Tampa Bay, and then you got Egbuka. Baker loves hitting these guys, so I Emeka Egbuka, do not sleep on that name. I mean, you could probably take him right now as high as like the third or fourth round. Like his stock is driving up right now, so he's one of those rookies that's going to have everything in line to have a breakout year as a rookie.
And Chris Godwin, another guy coming off an injury.
And Chris
So
Godwin hasn't even ran. He hasn't even ran on that foot
limited.
injury yet.
So like you said, he's probably going to be the number two. They're going against Atlanta this weekend. Would you recommend starting him?
Absolutely, absolutely. You start Emeka Egbuka against Atlanta. Shaky secondary, one of the worst secondaries last year. I mean, on paper, maybe they've tightened up a little bit, but absolutely, Emeka Egbuka. If you got him on your bench, especially in a 12-man league, start him. Put him in the flex. Do what you got to do. That's an automatic start this week. It's got to be. It's got to be.
Hell yeah. Cool. I hope we answered your question there for you, Robert. JB, we're coming to a close here on the show, so let's just make our quick picks real quick. So Cowboys, Eagles, you had Philly winning that game. You got the Chiefs and the Chargers heading over to Brazil. Shout out Carol G, who will be performing that halftime show. I got to watch her live at one a couple years ago. Dope chick, talented, hell of an entertainer. Don't know a lot of the words that she was saying, and I know you probably assume that I just know 100% Spanish, but that Puerto Rican stuff is a little tough. It's a little quick, a little too fast for my tongue. But that halftime show should be cool. That whole thing on Friday, which is crazy, right? We have a Friday game um, in Brazil. That's nuts. Like
Yeah,
it's
pretty
being
dope.
international is crazy. But what's crazy is the NFL is so massive, and it's only in America, but it's still bigger than any other sport. Or maybe I'm just being a dumb, obnoxious
It's yeah,
American when I say
little
that.
little
But
obnoxious.
football is king, my boys. But Chiefs, Chargers, who you got there?
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs in this one because I think obviously when you look at the Chargers, I might have picked the Chargers, but this whole Rashawn Slater thing out for the year, the left tackle, All Pro,
Oh
I
yeah,
think
that
that's
hurt.
going to be a injury that kind of haunts the Chargers the whole entire season. Which I think in the big picture, Chargers don't make the playoffs because of that injury alone. But they're
Yeah,
going to be there.
I
But I'm
got.
going to pick
I'm gonna
Chiefs.
ride with you. I'm gonna ride with you on that one as well. I'm gonna go with Chiefs for exactly what you just said. That is probably going to come back and haunt them, and it's on Netflix. Uh, Patrick Mahomes seems to always show up when the lights get the brightest. So I don't
Netflix.
know why you wouldn't ride with Patrick Mahomes. The Dolphins going into Indianapolis. This is another sleeper guy here is Jonathan Taylor. You got to expect that his touches are going to go up dramatically.
Sure.
I like the Colts. I don't know if the Colts, if my love or my enjoyment of following them is because of the Pat McAfee show, probably is, but. Uh, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins on this one, just because I mean the Colts we just don't know, and it's Daniel Jones at the helm, so I have no confidence whatsoever. At least the Dolphins are somewhat healthy going into starting the season, and they got a chip on their shoulder. Tyreek's kind of got a ball out, so I expect a big game from Tyreek Hill, and I'm gonna go with the Dolphins.
I agree. I'm gonna go with the Dolphins too. Little shaky about the Colts. I do like Jonathan Taylor. He's healthy now. I do like Tyler Warren. He's gonna have a break. Like that's another good tight end that you can pick up fantasy a little bit later than these other top end tight ends. Tyler Warren's gonna get a lot of targets, man. A really good pass catching tight end. Um, yeah, that's a good comment. Yeah, so I think it's a closer game than what people think. Like Daniel Jones can make some plays on the run, make some plays by extending them. It's just really going to come down to kind of his accuracy and how I don't know how they're exactly going to use him, but if they can get a good solid run game, Tyler Warren is going to be that safety blanket. Got a couple deep threats with Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman and Josh Downs and some of these guys, but I just think Dolphins have a lot to prove right now. There's a lot of question marks about what's going to happen to Tyreek Hill. Is Tua going to stay healthy? Devon Achan. These guys, there's a lot of talent on that offense. Let's see if they can stay healthy. I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, they do gotta. They did lose a lot of pieces on defense, so it is gonna be interesting to see how that defense play out. That game's actually, I think that game's gonna be fun to watch. But won't be surprised if the Colts pull it off. I hope they do. Rooting for them, but I just like we said, it feels like the Dolphins have more to prove in that game. Uh, Aaron Rodgers heading over to MetLife against the Jets, where they'll face the former Steeler in Justin Fields. Um, this one for me, pretty quick. I think. Aaron Rodgers has has a shit ton to prove. Father Time is against him right now, but I mean the Steelers, that dog mentality out there, bro. That that defense to me alone can win that game. That defense is alone is going to win them a lot of games. We just expect at the bare minimum average play from Aaron Rodgers. So I got the Steelers easily winning this game.
You know what? This is one of those games where you kind of look at it and you're just like, yeah, on paper, the Steelers should win. The Steelers are always, they should win games like this in the regular season. I gotta pick one upset, so I think it might be the Jets. I think we're gonna pick the Jets this week. Justin Fields comes, he's got something to prove against Pittsburgh. Letting him go, not paying him. He brought that team to what 5-2 last year before being benched.
Yeah.
Um, they got some weapons. I've always liked the Jets' weapons. I've liked Garrett Wilson. I've liked Brees Hall. That defense is no joke. They're gonna get after it. I kind of want. I'm going for an upset. Give me the Jets. Give me the Jets. I still do not like Aaron Rodgers at all. Never will. And yeah, give me the Jets.
Damn. Hey, Brees Hall. That might be another sleeper there, especially with they brought in defensive coordinator from the
Terry
Detroit
Gilmore.
Lions.
Yeah,
You got to assume same mentality, smash mouth football running down your throat. Brees
gotta
Hall has
be.
a lot to prove coming off an injury, so wouldn't be a bad pickup as well. You probably have to sneak him probably in like the second round, huh? Or if you already got him. Um,
He might be third.
Panthers Jaguars. This game might be the one that's a little bit of a doozer. I'm going to go with Jacksonville. I'm excited to see how Travis Hunter looks. It sounds like he's going to be used primarily on offense, and they're going to scheme him up for a couple defensive packages. That's probably the one thing that I'm most excited about this weekend. I'm going to pick the Jags. I do like Carolina and what they're doing, uh, but just solely based on me wanting to watch Travis Hunter succeed at both positions, that game's definitely got. I mean, I'm gonna be locked in for sure.
I'm going to go with Carolina in this one. Carolina was hot at the end of the season. Last year, Bryce Young was the only
Yeah,
quarterback the last 3 weeks of the season to throw for over 10 touchdowns and no interceptions. I really like their offense and kind of what they're doing. Tatoria McMillan, you got those guys. You got Xavier Leggett, uh, you know, Chuba Hubbard. Bryce Young, I think this is the year where we really see him kind of come into his own, and they've got some of the pieces to help him do that. I'm excited to see Carolina's growth this year. So give me Carolina in this game.
Nice. Cardinals and Saints. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. The Saints have way too many question marks. We don't even know what they have at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
That team seems a little lost to me. They are at home. That's probably like the only thing that's rolling in their favor. I like Kyler Murray. I'm interested to see how Marvin Harrison performs this year. Yeah, give me the Cardinals.
Yeah, give me the Cardinals. Saints are going to be looking rough. So give me the Cardinals. I feel like Kyler Murray is on the hot seat a little bit. He's on a short leash in
Yeah.
that sense. So he's got to produce this year. Got to produce. And he's got the weapons to do it. Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison, those guys, he's got to put it together, and they got to win some games. They got to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, 100%. They always start off pretty hot and then they seem to fall off there on the back end. Uh, Giants heading over to Washington to play the Commanders here. Giants are in a rebuilding stage. Washington with Dan Quinn, them boys are buzzing. Jaden Daniels, I see a lot of people are projecting him to have an MVP season. I did draft him in my fantasy league, so I don't. Yeah, fantasy always breaks my heart sometimes because you kind of got to root for the teams that you hate the most, and I want to see Jaden do well, but I also want to see them lose. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but I am going to go with the Commanders on this one.
I think Giants are. I mean, their front four
Go
looks
Terry
scary.
McLaurin.
Their front four looks scary, and that's where Jaden Daniels did kind of struggle a little bit against certain pressure. But I just don't think enough. Matt, some of these comments, bro. Yeah, no, we're not saying he's a sleeper. We're saying guys are gonna blow up the points.
Yeah, Matt, if you would have listened to the phone
Yeah,
call,
dude,
you
you
would
just
have
join
known.
in with 5 minutes left and start talking,
Come
dude.
on.
Come on, dude. But
Come on, Matt.
yeah.
Come
What game were
on.
we on again? That
Uh,
just
Giants Commanders.
oh
Just give me a pick
Giants
here. Give me a
Commanders.
pick.
I mean that front four is scary. Giants front four is really scary, but
Yeah.
Commanders overall, I think their offense is going to be too much. They're going to be scoring. They're going to be scoring. So give me the Commanders. I think they kind of end off on what they did last year. It's going to be interesting to see Jaden Daniels. He is projected to have a better year, but also you got to be aware of the sophomore slump, kind of how teams are going to play it. They did have some deficiencies in some of that passing game last year, and also. You know what? Just give me the Commanders. Just give me the Commanders.
Yeah, there we go,
We'll
baby.
see.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go Bucks and
Yeah,
Falcons. I'm
I got to go to work.
hot on the I'm hot on the Baker Maker. Yeah, yeah. I'm hot on the Baker Mayfield train, so I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
Bucks and who's playing this week? You said
Atlanta. They're in Atlanta. This
Bucks in
is
Atlanta.
a 11 o'clock game or a
Yeah,
12 o'clock game if you're in Texas.
yeah. I'm really interested to see Michael Penix. He's somebody that I wanted the Vikings to go after last year or 2 years ago, I should say. But with Baker and those boys, Bucky Irving, solid defense. Baker building
I
his
got you.
stock every year. I think we got to go with the Bucks. We got to go with the Bucks.
Yep. And don't forget, you still got Kirk Cousins as a backup. So maybe we see Kirk this year, maybe
Maybe we
not.
see him in another.
Bengals versus Browns. Yeah, I think we're probably going to see a rookie quarterback pretty quick. I'm gonna go with the Bengals winning easily.
Yeah, Bengals. I mean, they're going to be scoring a bunch of points. I just don't think the Browns are going to be able to hang with that. Yes, Browns have a respectable defense, but too many question marks at the quarterback right now. You got Dylan Sampson. That's another sleeper who you might want to start in some 12-man leagues at running back for the Browns. Dylan Sampson, put that name on your board. But yeah, I just don't think the Browns can hang right now offensively, especially with a team that is fully healthy right now. The Bengals, at least offensively, are scary. And if Joe Burrow gets in the playoffs this year, Joe Burrow can upset these quarterbacks that we're looking at, Josh Allen, Lamar, even Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow has on his resume wins against all these guys. So Bengals are going to be a team if they can start off good instead of 1-11 the past 6 seasons. Um, if they can start off 2-0, 1-1, 2-0 to start off the year, watch out for the Bengals.
Yeah, Joe Burrow took hella shots in the preseason for a reason, so hopefully that plays out well. Let's go quick here with the Raiders and Patriots.
Raiders and Patriots.
Yeah, that one's tough. That's
That's
gonna be
kind
a
of a
good game.
tough game. Both teams obviously have built in the offseason. And you're expecting a better year for both teams.
Yeah,
Honestly, I think you go with the Raiders in this one. I think you go with the Raiders. Pete Carroll and that culture. He's going to be instilling
Mike
some
Vrabel though.
traits into those guys. Drake May is still young, but I like what they've done offensively with Travion Henderson, Stephon Diggs. You bring a couple guys in. They've got significantly better offensively. So, but I will go with the Raiders, Geno Smith, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers, Ashton Ginty. Give me the Raiders week 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride with you on that one too. I'm excited to see what Genty is, and I mean the ceiling is high for that dude. So hopefully
Yeah.
he tears it up. 49ers versus the Seahawks.
Tough one. That's a
I'm,
tough one.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go with the Niners. I'm gonna go with the Niners. Just CMC's back. That's gonna be huge for them. They did lose Debo Samuels, but yeah, I guess the question mark for the 49ers, I don't it's not on defense for me. It's gonna be solely on the wide receivers. Can anybody get open? Uh I
Yeah.
think what's his name is hurt, isn't he? Still hurt?
Brandon Ayuk
Um
is most
yeah,
likely
you
going to miss most of the season. I
yeah.
don't know when he's projected to come back. It's not anytime soon. Not in the first 5-6 weeks. He's one of those guys that hasn't even practiced yet. You know, um,
Yeah.
he's putting some pressure on that foot and all that stuff. So right now you're looking at Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, obviously George Kittle. You got McCaffrey in the backfield, but I really like as far as like the the new era, the Sam Darnold era in Seattle. Give me Seattle week 1, Jackson Smith and Jigma, and those other guys. I think they're going to come and ball out. Give me Seattle week
That
1.
that might actually be your upset. All right, JB, let's pick up the pace here. People got to go to work. Titans versus Broncos. Give me the Broncos. Give me the Broncos. Expectations on them are pretty high. The defense looks great. Titans are playing a rookie quarterback, Cam Ward. I love it. I hope he plays well, but give me the Broncos on week 1.
Yeah, yeah, same Broncos.
All right, Lions Packers. I think
Lions.
Micah Parsons makes some noise. Micah makes some noise. That back don't hurt no more. That money really made up for it. And we get to see a glimpse at Jordan Love pretty quick. We're going to be able to see exactly who both of these teams are after week 1. Um, I'm gonna take the Packers though.
Give me the Lions.
Ooh. Texans Rams.
I'm going to go with the
Damn,
Rams.
that's another banger. I'm gonna go with the Rams too, but I am excited to see how the Texans bounce back. Is
Yeah,
CJ Stroud still a guy? He kind of went through the sophomore slump that you were talking about earlier.
yeah.
Um, yeah, give me the Rams though. Matty Ice. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see if that back holds up. But
Yep.
that game could end pretty quick if Matt Stafford gets sacked and that back starts
Matt
to mess
Stafford
up.
is one injury away from turning that
Yeah.
whole Rams team upside down.
I hate to
That's
throw
it.
this out there, but I experienced this with Tony Romo, and yeah, it seems like once that back goes out, it goes downhill from there. Sunday night football, we got the Ravens versus Bills. Gosh, bro, there's so many bangers. I cannot wait till Sunday. I'm gonna pick the Bills just because it's early. I do think the Ravens have a better roster. Um, no, hell no. What am I talking about? I'm gonna go. The Bills are getting beat at home. The Ravens are going to set the tone, especially after what happened last year in the playoffs, dropping that pass, causing Lamar. That could have changed the whole trajectory for Lamar Jackson heading into this season. Could be a
Yep.
Super Bowl champion right now. Uh, give me the Ravens. The addition of Jair. Uh, who else did they get on defense?
Can't remember.
Damn,
But
drawing a
they
blank right
did
now. But
get blown up.
give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens.
As I mentioned yesterday, Ravens are my Super Bowl pick. So at least in the AFC. So I got to go with the Ravens. And the Ravens, they need to play what they do best: smash mouth football. Let Lamar kind of do his thing and just beat a team that you should beat. I think on paper, at least, the Ravens look good. So yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go Ravens week 1.
That'll cap it off for us, JB. On Monday night, we do have the Vikings versus the Bears, but we will break that down for you guys on Monday. We'll be back. We'll be back Monday morning, 6:30 to 7:30. Don't forget the lines are always open, 575-808-9307. This is Speaking Out Loud. I appreciate you guys joining us, going through the little bit of struggle that we had this morning. We lost a little bit of faith, and then all of a sudden, slowly but surely, here we are, delusional as ever. The Cowboys are going to win today. I feel it. I smell it in the air. It feels great. JB, let's have a hell of a week. Let's cash these bets and be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Shout out Pat McAfee. Y'all have a good one.
Later.